we moved to Farmington, and we didn't have that classroom anymore. It was 1987, and there was a movie called Dead Poets Society that came out, with Robin Williams as the teacher. And Becca was way too young to see the movie theater, but I think years later saw it on VHS. I think we saw it together. And in the movie, the boys recite part of that poem of Oh Captain, My Captain. And out of nowhere, Becca recites the entire poem. And I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it. I love that poem. I love that poem. I teach it to my students every year. I do not know that poem. You know? And my sister she remembered the whole thing. It just blew me away that she could remember everything. Jump forward another 4 years. I'm in college. I come back to visit. She's at a school called Westminster. And I go with my parents to hear her play the piano. It's a beautiful, beautiful theater. You know, real seats, real acoustics. We had taken lessons from Mrs. Watson for years, and neither of us were remarkable piano players, despite what my mom told us. And I was a nervous wreck. I was so worried about Becca coming out on the stage and playing for all these people, and my parents didn't seem to care at all. And my anxiety was building and building, and finally she walked out, she went to the piano, she sat down, and she played remarkably. It was amazing. And I remember turning to you guys and saying, like, when did she learn how to do that? It's incredible. And I'm pretty sure you did it without music. Yeah. You just did it from sheer memory. I was just flabbergasted, and she remembered every note. The point I'm trying to make about Becca is that she's a genius. I'm not trying to imply that she's a photographic memory, because I'm pretty sure you don't. I know, you know. But the thing is she's very tenacious, and when she decides on something, she knows what she wants, she goes out and she gets it. In fact, actually, when she was in college, so for many years later, to Holy Cross, she decided, way past Europe if it was time possible, to change her major. And my parents you were in Scotland? Yeah. She was in Scotland, so she wasn't even in the continental US. And my parents were on vacation somewhere, Mexico. They were out of the country. And she had called her dean, and her dean said, no, you can't. She wants to change it to English. God bless her. And so she calls me, you know, who was so shy, I never even called Central Pizza to order a pizza. I would put my 5-year-old sister on to do it, or make her muffins with tomato paste on them. So she told me exactly what to say and what to do, and we were able to get her major changed. It wasn't me, it was Becca. So Becca knows exactly what to do. Jump forward another 4 years, and I'm walking up Fifth Avenue. My sister now lives in Manhattan. She's a big, big ward. And I'm walking up Manhattan, across Central Park, having a lovely day, actually talking on the cell phone for like an hour to my grandmother, you know, which was great. She had a lovely time, I had a lovely time. To meet Becca at the Hotel Lucerne, and by the time I got there, I realized my feet had blown up to the And my parents were late, surprise. Very, very late, surprise. So Becca, to like distract me from my pain, says, let's go to a movie. So we actually had to jump in a cab because I couldn't walk. We went to see a Tom Hanks movie that was pretty bad. But on the way there, Becca very nonchalantly mentions that she met Darren. And the one thing I have that Becca is not is I'm incredibly sappy. And I knew. Thanks for the extra drama. I knew that Darren must be somebody really special. Even though she was very blasé about it, oh yeah. Not long after I met Darren, and he was very tall, and he was very smart, and he was very kind, and he was very funny, and he was very patient with my crazy family. And he wasn't afraid to show how vulnerable he was, as my dad mentioned, when he was lying on the kitchen floor in Nantucket, covered in blood. That a renegade window had taken him out. And he wasn't also afraid to show his competitive side to us when we discovered during an Easter egg hunt that he wore his cargo pants so he could collect every single Easter egg faster than my children could get to them. And we loved that. But most importantly, he understood my sister. And he understood that she was a genius. And he understood that she was tenacious. And he understood that she was going to do great things in life. But what I'm not sure he understood is that despite all of his despite all of these wonderful things, Darren has actually brought out the best in Becca. And her nickname has always been Best. And, but she's really the best with Darren. And I wasn't sure she could be any more amazing, but she is. So, in Walt Whitman's poem, he wrote that the prize you sought is won. And surely today I hope Becca and Darren realize how rare it is to find the prize of true love and how lucky we are all are to be here with them to share it. So please raise your glass and join me in wishing Becca and Darren a very happy marriage.